Alrighty, we had a very quick transition today, boys, with the final third match. Tanafels again, Hannibal Sword Infantry, Pneumatic Fighter with the triple slingers this time. Thor 1368 with the tier 7 Jazz. He's taking those tier 7 Jazz. You can bet he wants that raised shield to try and last a little bit longer in the combat. Very smart choice, whether he's getting shot by the archers or the enemy's Jazz. We have Rex 4312 with the Germanicus Infantry, Disaster Struck, Germanicus Infantry, Neris again with the Vercingetorix Cav, undefeated with the Elephants, and let's see how Aquilla Polonica handles this next defense by the French. It's going to be mighty interesting, ladies and gents.
Capture the enemy base or kill all enemy forces. Quickly!
Alrighty, we've got Neris moving up. He's split up his cavalry. He's got a little bit to the left. He's going for that flag. We've got Tanafels over here on the right flank in the forest. Gonna definitely push in on there if he needs to. Azure over there already on the flag. He's got a good visual. He might even have visual of Tanafels, so they already are aware if he's going for that flank. We've got Neris over here on the other flag, just in case there's a flank at any point in time. There's nowhere to be seen. Les Dresseur, they're nowhere to be seen, so you can bet they're going to be having a very defensive position again. So they're going to be having somewhere the defensive position probably start around here, or in these gaps. It's going to be very interesting. How is Aquilla Polonica going to push through this time? This time they're taking the slingers, which, like I said, taking those slingers or another kind of archer to take that range advantage and get the points out there as soon as they can is a very smart choice, because all they're going to have to do is get the point advantage, and then in which case the French team is forced to come out. If they don't come out, then they automatically lose just by the end of the match. It would be a very boring battle, but that is the truth of the situation. And we do have Neris over here scouting. There was a blip of a sight on the Arminius Cav right here, but I think they're gone now. Looks like Aquilla Polonica, again, they're going to be very slow and methodical. They're going to be very careful on their approach. They know that the French team is going defensive at this point. They definitely are aware, and they don't want to, overextend any units, nor do they want to lose the point advantage. And if we got over here, we've got Neris. He's spotted Azure, trying to maybe get him, but not going to happen. Azure with that extra speed and the Arminius Cav definitely able to avoid him very easily. I don't think this is a smart choice. Nomadic fighter, a little bit, he's by himself. He's pretty far by himself. Granted, they've got all this vision. If he wasn't paying attention, Azure could possibly, just out of nowhere come and snag Nomadic Fighter. But as you can see, he's going to go around the long way. He's going to try and get that upper territory. He's going to get this high ground and use it to his advantage when he starts laying down the damage on the French team. Plenty of time. Only 12 minutes left in the match. They got plenty of time to slowly maneuver. In fact, this is odd. The entire team is moving to the left flank. Very smart, though, keeping Neris on this flag to give the impression, hey, we're still in the middle. This is very smart. Nomadic fighter probably getting into a position so he can either tempt Azure to come and get him, or at least take Azure out of the battle as soon as possible with some slings. NFL's over there on the right flank still, maybe to give that impression as well that, hey, we're still over here in the mid and the right flank. Not this entire force is up here ready to, pounce on whatever they can. So it looks like the entire team for Aquilla Polonica is going to hit one hard spot, and that's it. They're going to go really hard in one position. So at this point, this is where you're going to have to utilize Neris. Neris is going to have to be ahead of his team, making sure that he's the only one spotted. If he can do that, he can give the, again, he can give that, false information that, hey, we're over here in the middle. However, Azure has noticed and saw a Nomadic Fighter. He was going to go for him, but he quickly changed his mind. Very smart. Didn't take any damage. Good job. But now, at this point, Azure knows this is where the attack is coming from. The attack is coming from here. We've got another one of Azure's units right here, keeping vision, knows that Tanafels is right there. We could practically say it's a Hannibal crossing the Alps right here. Hannibal's troops are crossing the Alps right here, boys. He's got the whole marching file column formation. He's got his missiles in the front and missiles in the middle. And oh, look at this defensive force right here between the French. They've taken the flag as the defense. This is very interesting. I did not anticipate this. I did not anticipate this at all. So it looks like this is where the battle's going to commence. Now they got to be very careful here. However, Nomadic Fighter getting massive amounts of damage out to Trachis and getting that point advantage, easily able to dodge his the range fire from the fight in the shadows, because that arc is just too high that it's very simple, easy. Hey, I'm just gonna dance a little bit, take some dancing lessons. You know, I'll just get a shot in and just deal the damage over time that he's gonna need, forcing the French to probably attack. If Nomadic Fighter keeps this up, the French team is gonna lose all of their archer firepower. And look at this, Tanafel's putting the pressure by capping the base. This is gonna force troops out of this position. Very smart by Aquilla Polonica. They're forcing the enemy players to come out, get out of that defense, and start worrying about two fronts. Very smart move. They're gonna break the discipline, make them fight on two fronts rather than just one, if they can. If anything, what Tanafels could do is literally just keep going back for the cap and force the French to be isolated by having two separate forces, and then they could the Aquilla Polonica can collapse on the larger force with all of their forces. At this point, you know, the range battle is already in favor of Aquilla Polonica. Now all they need to do is start dealing that damage to the javelins. The archers are almost, you know, not really a threat anymore. 17 models, 23 models. Who else do we have? 22 models. They've nearly eliminated all the archers. They can start dealing this damage like that right there. We didn't see the damage, but he did get a little bit of damage out on Darte. He's going to get some more. He's just going to start dealing this damage. This is very, very smart play. But Azure coming around with the charge, and he does some damage to Nomadic Fighter. It was probably a poorly placed charge. It could have been better. But Nomadic Fighter, you know, taking very minimal damage. He's going to continue to lay down the firepower on the enemy player's range. And meanwhile, the base is being capped very, very slowly. I'm going to say it's Azure with one of his cavalry. If the Aquilla Polonica doesn't pay attention long enough, they could have a problem with capping. So this Aquilla Polonica clearly taking their time as suggested, using their range dominance. They've clearly taken out most of the archers. Nomadic Fighter, very, very healthy. Pretty much almost all of his slinger models alive. You know, using his range dominance, slowly whittling down. Once they eliminate most of these jabs, it will be in the safe zone for Aquilla Polonica. Just bring the hammer and bring the thunder. They could just go forward, bring their jabs, deactivate the pikes, you know, utilize every single tool they have necessary to just easily overwhelm this defensive force now. And meanwhile, these elephants are out and about over here in the middle. There's nothing over there. Tanafels looks like he's engaging Le Jauge with one of his infantry. It's going to be Carthage Spears versus Carthage Barbarians. If he's smart, he could split up his forces and surround Le Jauge. And here it comes. The Javelin battle is taking place right now on this defensive perimeter. And right now, I would say the Javelin fight is going easily in favor of Aquilla Polonica. They have their raised shields. They're able to take less damage. They have Testudo. The jabs have already been damaged. Their models have been damaged. Again, this is where it's going to show that being too defensive like this, it's just, you know, it didn't work one time. It worked the first time. The second time it didn't work. Why would you go for a third time on your defense? However, now their infantry lines are clashing, and Azur's going to try and take advantage and get a charge maybe on the jabs. However, he's going to get too close, and the jabs can easily repel him and do massive amounts of damage. Probably not a smart move at that point by Azur. I would have pulled back out. And at this stage, it's clear Nomadic Fighter, Thor, they've got the range of power, they've got the ability to just easily deactivate pikes. This battle is going to very quickly go in Aquilla Polonica's favor, and I'd say at this point it's going to be Aquilla Polonica's win at any moment now. Azur getting maybe a charge, nope, didn't get it off. Meanwhile, all the pressure on the remaining ranged by Neris. Yeah, this defensive force, they were not ready. The French team was just not prepared. They had one track in mind. They had defense as their strategy. In these leagues, you cannot have one sole strategy. If you go with one sole strategy and you continue it in the second match, you can count on most of your opponents being ready with a counter to that strategy. And if you continue that trend, you're just going to see yourselves, like you can see, Aquilla Polonica, they were able to adapt, they overcame, and they've beaten this defensive strategy 2 times now. So when you're practicing, the teams out there, little word of caution, word of advice, you want to be practicing multiple different strategies, multiple different setups, because there's not going to be just one strategy that trumps all. There's going to be many different types, and it's going to be a definite mind game here for this entire league. Congratulations, Aquilla Polonica. You take your second match of games yet again.